I'm Gwen Preston of Resource Maven. We're here at the Metals Investor Forum again. It's November in Vancouver, and I'm joined again by Chris Taylor. Thanks for coming.
Hi, Gwen.
Chris is with Great Bear Resources, one of the most exciting exploration stories out there right now. And because of all that excitement, you've been on the road a lot in the last 2 months, telling your story and raising money. You made a big discovery. Or amplified your big discovery with some really exciting hits, and then people wanted to invest. And so you've been out on the road raising money, which has worked really well for you. But I also sort of wanted to start by, what have you been hearing on the road? Because you've been talking to a lot of investors.
We have been hearing, Gwen, exactly what you were discussing in your presentation before I was speaking earlier. So I think the theme here is probably sector rotation, is what I would call it. So I've heard these are fund managers in the US particularly who manage money that starts with the letter B, right? Definitely billions. And they said, Chris, it's really nice to meet a guy like you, a little Canadian company. You're still a little bit too small for us to look at it in appreciation, but maybe we will start looking at these types of stories. But really the bottom line being, they said, we have made nothing but money in tech for the last 10 or 15 years. And for the first time ever in some of their experience, the younger guys, or the first time in a long time with the big guys, they want sort of desperately to find the new growing field of investment. And they think that could be resource stocks and gold stocks in particular.
See, and that's really heartening for me to hear, because that has made sense to me for quite a while, this sector rotation into commodities as the thing that performs late in the cycle, as the darlings of the bull market, like the technology stocks start to lose their magic a little bit. It's all made sense to me, but it's really great to hear big fund managers actually speaking that book. So obviously it worked for you. You could have raised, I think, oodles of money, but you've raised $15 million and you're all funded to get going. Now, I think what's sort of interesting is you have 10 kilometers of strike in a folded deformation zone in this project, lots of zones to explore, and now lots of money to do it. So one way of looking at it is, can you even, how do you even deploy money that quickly? How do you drill that fast? But you have a really good brain trust of people who are guiding the work that you're doing there.
Correct. Between Bob Singh, our VPX, and our team in Red Lake, which is 4 ex-Goldcorp geologists, we think we have about, they did it the other day, they said we have 110 years of collective experience drilling this kind of stuff. And really it comes in handy because it lets us see something in the drill core and immediately be able to follow up with it and potentially make another discovery, which is why we've made discovery and discovery and discovery. It's really because of that expertise. Right?
And when you say they have 110 years of experience, I mean, it's becoming what you would say is directly applicable experience, because as you keep intersecting gold at Dixie Lake, you say it's almost scary how similar it is to Goldcorp's high-grade zone, right?
Yeah, and I'm not an expert on the Goldcorp mine per se, but our people are. They've worked underground there for many years, and we're seeing the same types of geometries of ore zones, or mineralized zones in our case, and you're seeing the same type of alteration and the same type of rock, and even weird similarities. And these are, it sort of defies credence for me, is the orientation of zones is the same as at the main mine. Like they have a northwest to southeast control axis, so do we, related to regional folding. And now we have those Ultramafic units, which were very important for controlling gold there. We've now found them at our project as well. And it's just, the more we drill, the more similar it looks. And it shows us that although it's early days and we're just really getting the ball rolling with Dixie, you can see that the potential of the system, if you look at the main Red Lake gold mine as as a target for something that we'd like to achieve, I mean, that's a big damn target, right? So this is the kind of thing that gets all of us up early in the morning and excitedly looking for the updates from the field every day. And
one interesting add-on to that, I think, is one of your recent press releases was a pretty geologic press release. The headline was that you mapped an Ultramafic unit. By definition, that's the kind of news release that investors generally do not care about at all. It probably, in most cases, it would usually depress a stock price, because they're all they have to talk about is a rock type. In your case, it added I don't know, double-digit percentages to your share price because people know the significance of the high-grade zone, and in this case, the Ultramafic units in relation to that.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what we saw. And Great Bear is still playing and has been playing catch-up. There's always been a discrepancy between what the major producers perceive in our results and what the market understands, right? So they've been way ahead of the curve over the retail audience for a couple of years at this point. So what we're seeing now is, there was some easy to criticize points about the project, and the main one was our lack of Ultramafic units, because everything else in the district is really related to that kind of geology. So once we found it, it was a very easy to address point that we could bring forward, and now that we've got them, it just makes sense. The reason we're seeing very good gold mineralization is because it's very much like everything else, which has turned into a mine in the district.
Absolutely, and this is an incredibly prolific district. This is Red Lake.
Yeah, over 30 million ounces of gold produced.
Yeah, and lots of it very high grade, just like what you guys are finding.
And lots of it at a deposit that looks very much like what we're drilling.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, best of luck out there. Good luck deploying $15 million to explore this super exciting project. I look forward to hearing the news for a while to come.
Well, there'll be a lot of it. Thanks very much, Gwen.
Absolutely.